Hello and welcome to the Kind of Sort of Maybe show. My name is Jim Zavala.
I'm Claudia.
I'm Melinda.
And today we're going to talk about some cool stuff. Hispanic superstitions and lore.
Ooh.
And before we get into that, we have a Twitter account, which is at KSM show. So go ahead and follow us. And don't forget to like this video and to retweet and help us out. Spread the good word of the Kind of Sort of Maybe show. So let's go ahead and we're going to have Melinda and Claudia kind of take the lead. They're the experts in paranormal activities. They've seen ghosts, apparently. So,
no
you know,
marks,
no
Jim.
quotation marks. My bad. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and talk about it. Do you guys want to go ahead and start? With
I think,
our
yeah.
Hispanic lore.
Yeah, I think specifically just talking about as Hispanics, you know, growing up in a Hispanic household, hearing from your grandmothers and tias and parents about all the different, I guess, superstitions and lore. And it stays with you even now as an adult because there are things that I remember and I still won't do because, you know, that's what you were taught.
Sure.
So, I mean, do you feel it that way also?
I agree. I remember, like growing up, that's the ultimate tactic for you to pretty much behave. So I remember because a lot of these things were instilled into me so that I could be a good girl,
Yeah.
And before I get into them, we can go ahead and talk about them. But I'm pretty sure if you're Hispanic or from South Texas, shout out to South Texas, you'll understand.
Yeah, same thing with me. I did have a little bit of that. Like, I did it to I'm guilty of doing that to my sisters. I didn't want them to go into my room, so I'm like, hey, get out of there, the Cucuy, or whatever. And I didn't even know what the Cucuy was. And I think growing up and getting older, hearing the equivalent of the Cucuy, which is what the boogeyman, really. But I don't think they're the same thing. I think the Cucuy is a little scarier and meaner. I don't know. Do you want to go into what the Cucuy is?
Yeah, well, the Cucuy is something we were all threatened with. Go to bed or the Cucuy is going to eat you or whatever. So he is a man, right? A monster man.
Man?
A monster man, if that is a thing, who lives in, the dark corners of your room or under your bed or whatever, who, if you misbehaved or didn't go to bed early or didn't do your homework, would come and eat your face.
Wow. Just for not doing your homework?
Yeah.
That's pretty harsh, parents. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I learned about the Cucuy in school, actually.
Really?
Like, it wasn't from my family. Cause
It was a part of the curriculum?
Yeah. I guess.
Turn your chapter to
El
Cucuy.
But I do remember a Spanish teacher teaching us that.
Okay.
But at my house, it was el coco. That's what we would call it,
Yeah.
el coco.
What is
not
that?
el cucuy.
It's the same. There are different ways to pronounce it depending on where, because it's not just Hispanic, it's Latin America, I guess. It's like Latino lore. And so depending on where you live, it's the same concept, the same monster, but called different things.
Yeah.
So I was taught el cucuy.
How do you spell Cucuy?
C-U-C...
No,
No,
it's
wait, what?
C-U-C-U-Y.
C-U-C-U-Y, yeah.
Really? Okay.
And
Yeah.
el coco is
C-O-C-O.
C-O-C-O.
Yeah.
Cool. That's weird. I've never heard of that pronunciation, but same concept, same deal?
The same thing, yeah. Just, kidnaps children or eats them or whatever.
Hides under your bed and gets you
Do you
at
guys
night.
know where this started from? Because I honestly don't.
I don't know. I know more the other ones that we're going to go into where they originated from, but I'm not sure El Cucuy where it is.
I wouldn't know either, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in Latin America.
It's Latin America, yeah. Yeah, that's where it stems from.
Yeah, so same thing with the Cucuy, which is very scary. Did you have any other sort of things that your parents jumped into or kind of threatened you with?
The Chupacabra.
The Chupacabra. Well, I don't know about threatened with the Chupacabra.
I remember
You're
that
not a
one.
goat. You're not a goat, right?
No,
so you should be all right.
Chupacabra, for those who may not know, is, I guess, translated in English is goat sucker. Yeah, and so that monster, I'm just going to call them all monsters because that creature would go and eat livestock. Well, not eat livestock. It sucked their blood. Yeah. So it would drain them of their blood. And so that's what I guess people who worked in ranches and farms and stuff, that's what they were terrified of.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you guys ever experienced seeing one. I
haven't. I've seen it like 5 times.
Oh,
no, I haven't.
Yeah,
of
course. No, but I personally have never seen one, but when I was in high school, one of my closest friends at the time, his dad was telling me just complete an adult man, you know, complete serious. Like he was very serious. He wasn't like saying it as a joke. Like he legit thought that he saw one at his ranch. And so he was telling me, he's like I know who you are. I know that I'm a teacher. He's like, but I swear I saw it. And so since then I'm like, oh, they're real.
They're real.
They're real.
Confirmed.
It's confirmed.
Chupacabra is real from that random guy at the ranch. Got it.
I remember when it was trending on Facebook, I want to say I was in high school, where there was this picture of this creepy looking creature somewhere in Texas that a sheriff took. Apparently they ran over it and it was going viral, and I was freaking out. I was like, they got the Chupacabra.
They got him, parents. Woo, celebrate.
It's so scary. It's kind of like, I would say, in comparison to like Americans,
like Bigfoot,
or
yeah, the like Loch Ness monster.
Okay. You've heard of it, but you've never seen it, and so when there's these pictures on the internet, like you just go crazy.
Especially nowadays, where you can alter photos, or you can
the power of Photoshop.
The power of Photoshop. I mean, even with Bigfoot, you know, that classic Bigfoot photo, which was apparently, I mean, debunked many times. Same with Loch Ness monster. Sorry, I'm a hater. Gotcha. That's why I brought you on the show. No, same things have been, you know, debunked and things. Same thing with those, like photos of the Chupacabra as well. It was, you know, known. It was a rabid animal or whatever it was. It lost its skin, but still, like believing in it, not knowing for a fact, and all these people talking about that they've seen it and they swear that they've seen it is different. You know, so. Any other creatures?
Another one, not so much a creature, but La Llorona. I think is one of all walks of life. I think have heard some variation of La Llorona, who is, you know, this woman who she was with her husband. Well, no, they weren't married, right? She was with a guy. They had 3 children, and she wanted to marry him, and he said no because the children were born out of wedlock. And so she was very upset. So she went to the river and she drowned her 3 kids.
Classic Disney story.
Classic, as it happens in Disney, and so she came back to him and said, oh, we have no children. Let's get married and have children, you know, as we're married. And he's like, no, you just murdered 3 kids. Okay. Goodbye.
Yeah, I heard a different variation of that one where, you know, she was married and I guess she got separated from her husband. And so she was with this new man and the man didn't want children. So almost the same thing. So she murdered their children. And at the end, what happens, and of course he didn't get with her. At the end, what happens is that she is filled with sorrow for what she did to her children, that she drowns herself, throws herself in the canal or river, whatever it is in your area. And you'll hear her at night screaming and crying, and La Llorona, no, that's okay, crying for her children, you know, because of the sorrow that she had. And we always had this thing by my grandma's house. Like I was talking to our friend Danny, shout out Danny, it was me, shout out. So that I was talking to him that there in Westlaco, where I was, my grandma's house, there was a canal right next door, and we could have sworn like that's where the Llorona happened. Everybody had that.
Yeah, and that's crazy that you say that, depending on your area, because all you know, especially here in South Texas, where there are canals and rivers and everywhere, but you know, La Llorona happened in your specific area. Yes, you know, I'm from Roma, so it happened in the river. And
I think it did happen in Roma though.
So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, how was it for you?
My story was different, actually. The version that I
both
was
of them?
told.
Then both of
them?
Both of them,
okay.
yeah. In my story, and I don't know if maybe this is where my Sancha phobia kind of originated, but in my version,
wow, that's pretty cool.
In my version, she's married and the husband cheats on her, and out of despair and hatred for him, she drowns her kids in a river. And as a result, or I think I want to say that she wanted her husband back, so she struck a deal with the devil, and when it didn't happen, she drowned her kids. And now she's heard around rivers and waters wailing and crying for her kids. And so, you know, I miss you. Like,
perfect.
That's how my parents would scare me.
Yeah, and I've heard that version also, not the devil part, but the part of that he cheated on her, and that's why she went out of spite. that she did it out of spite. Yeah, I've heard that out of spite.
Yeah, the other thing that was scary about that, so it'd be going down the canal, and it'd be scary because it was dark and we didn't have electricity back in the 90s. In that area. So we would climb down into the canal, and always it seemed like, I always mentioned to you, like we're climbing out of Mordor, you know, pretty much climbing up it. But yeah, you'd slip, and it's like, holy crap, the Llorona's gonna grab you and pull you into the water, because that's the other thing. You walk too close to the water, and she'd pull you in. I mean, it's crazy, you know, awesome bedtime stories, you know, that we were told as kids, which is awesome. Are you crying?
No, I'm just remembering like. There was a lot of stories related to rivers, you know, and I'm just remembering El Catrín. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's another
Never heard of that.
Comes out in the loteria.
I was gonna say it's the loteria.
Oh, okay, yeah. So El Catrín, Mexican bingo, pretty much.
Mexican bingo, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, El Catrín would hunt rivers, and I want to say my mom told me this story. What's El Catrín?
What does he look like? What does it look like?
It's like a rich, fancy man.
Oh, that dude. Okay.
Yeah. El Catrín.
I know.
Chalupa.
Yeah, bingo. Yeah.
So what happened? What's the story?
So he would, from what I remember, he would like loiter around rivers because like to get drunk men like that would come out of casinos and like drinking out at night. They would be so drunk when they would cross the river that he would strike bargains with them, you know. Okay. For their souls.
Okay, so kind of like the devil.
Like the devil, yeah. He's like a version of the devil.
But a fancy rich one.
But
so
yeah,
what would he do?
Scary.
So he would just...
he would strike
deals and then break the deals and take their souls, pretty much?
Kind of like trick questions and stuff like that from what I remember. Kind of like Gollum.
What
I remember, yeah.
Gollum?
Oh, Thingies Supernatural. The demons.
The demons, okay.
Yeah. Another one is La Lechuza. We've all heard that one.
Yes.
The owl witch hybrid owl witches,
thing. Yeah, which do exist.
It's real.
They're real. Owls do exist, but with this kind of lore, what stuff do they do?
So a lechuza is an old witch, right, who takes the form of an owl at night, and so it's it's a big owl, and so in Roma, my house is next to Monte, and so
what is a monte? For the viewers.
For the viewers, it's like ranch land. Like there's nothing there, but you know we get the occasional cow every once in a while, and so there are always owls outside, and I can hear them like hooing outside the balcony, and I would always get so scared because you can only hear them from my balcony, not my brother's or my sister's. It was only mine, and I would always get scared because they say that once a lechuza is fixated on you, like that's it, like you're doomed, or you're gonna have bad luck forever and stuff. And so every time I would hear an owl, and I would say like it's a lechuza, so I would text my dad and brother, and I'm like, it's outside, take care of it.
That's crazy.
And so my dad and brother would go out with a BB gun, and they'd cross the street to where the monte was, and they wouldn't shoot they'd shoot around it. Not
legally, they didn't shoot it.
No, yeah. They have licenses. Yeah. No, but yeah, and so they wouldn't shoot at it. They'd shoot around it just so they could scare it away. Yeah, but yeah, because there's a lot of owls, and they're always white, like just like piercing white owls outside my balcony, and it freaks me out, and I get so scared.
Yeah, that's one thing with lechuzas. I remember my grandma telling me the stories, and she used to say it, just with, like, it's fact.
Yeah.
It's like, the old days, there's a bunch of witches, and they would turn into, owls, and then they would cast curses, and, all this kind of stuff. And this was, like, her history, and she would say it like fact. And, of course, and as a child, I was like, wow, that's crazy. It was crazy back then, with witches and like Harry Potter, all this stuff in my mind, just imagining curses and like flying, whatever it was, transformations. And that's really cool how that, you see that in pop culture and movies and stuff, but it all comes from folklore and lore, which is really awesome. How about you?
And I remember that, but I don't remember learning La Lechuza story from my parents. I want to say it was also a school thing.
Wow.
I want to say
education.
In middle school. LBJ. I want to say LBJ. Yeah, I want to say it was my ESL class that we would read those books, and that's when I was like, oh, Lechuza. And then I would go and ask my mom, and then that's when she told me the story. But I didn't learn about that one from my parents. I don't remember them being white, but in my mind, like, they're black or creepy, but ever since then, like, owls, to me, they're just like weird. Scary. And so when I see people collecting owls, like,
who collects owls? What do you mean? Not real owls.
No, I have a bunch. No.
Endangered owls.
Owls. So weird.
Well, you know how, like, your bathrooms have themes or whatever.
What? Bathrooms have themes?
Yeah, like decorated. Like some people like seashells or the beach or whatever. Mine is owls.
in your bathroom, just watching you.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think owls, they're real creepy, but I think they're so pretty. And so, yeah, my shower curtains, and I have like picture framed owls, and my hand towels and stuff are owls.
I think they're creepy.
Yeah, that'd be kind of creepy, especially with their eyes and everything, you know.
Maybe
they're watching you.
Yeah, I big eyes to big eyes. I'm like, I got your friend.
Gotcha.
So, I get bullied too.
So anything specific that those Lechuzas did or do that you know of?
Well, apparently in the lore they were so, because it was like a person, a witch, that the Lechuza was so big or so strong and powerful that once they did fixate on you and you went outside on your own, they, by their talons, is that what they're called? Yep. They grab you and fly off with you and you never be seen. So.
And were these like small little Lechuzas?
No, Lechuzas are supposed to be big. Okay. Like when you see them flying around, like they're supposed to cast a big shadow or whatever. Okay. Yeah. So because it's not like a regular owl. It's a big owl.
Cool. Very cool. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So watch out, Jim.
Watch out. Yeah. Another one is, I don't know if you've heard the duendes.
Duendes, oh my God!
Oh, classic duendes. I've never heard of this one. What is this? Yes. What is this?
So duendes, that originates from Spain, and it's supposed to be like this goblin-like creature, right? I don't know what did you hear about duendes?
In my version, I remember being very little, and we would travel in Mexico, right? And we would always go over this huge bridge, and in that bridge, we would always somehow be driving at night. And my mom would always sing when we would cross that bridge, like, duendes, no se las lleven, no se las lleven.
Really?
Because apparently at night, the duendes would jump into the car and steal the kids, steal the souls of the kids because they're so innocent. Every time you cross the bridge.
Any bridge?
Just
so
that
like they're kind of like a troll or something that was under?
Because they're goblin troll-like creatures. And also other things that I've heard is that because they're little small creatures, I know this is going to get kind of like weird, but the origin behind that from Spain is that they were like the souls of like infants who had died and weren't baptized.
Oh, yeah.
So if they weren't baptized and they died, like that's where they'd go. And so they'd wreak havoc in your vehicle or in your house or whatever. And so they were kind of like,
scary.
It's real scary, right? Like kind of like Peeves from Harry Potter. So like who would just like doing Daniels and stuff. So that's who. Yeah. That's who. What when this.
So unbaptized children, kind of like I mean, that's always been a
Catholic.
Yeah, it's a Catholic thing
right?
where they're not unbaptized. They go to limbo.
Right.
That's where so that's crazy how that. Also, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and that's superstition.
That's creepy. I'm going to tell my kids that. Can't wait.
It's creepy.
Kids, let me tell you a story about duendes.
That one stuck to me so boldly, and I completely had forgotten about it till I went back to Mexico recently, right, in March or April. And I remember my uncle driving around the mountains, and I'd be like, why am I so scared?
It stuck with you.
And
wow.
I wish that I could remember the song my mom would sing, because it was a song that we all had to sing when we crossed the bridge, because they were so scared that they would take us.
You got homework.
Maybe my sister got taken.
Sing.
I love you.
Which one? Name names.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out, sister. We all know which one it is. Everybody knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, it was so scary.
That's a creepy one. That's a very creepy one.
Well, speaking of vehicles, another one, I don't know a specific one, but I remember my mom telling me when I was younger about, but this one isn't like a scary one. It's just like if you were ever driving alone, that like an old man would appear in like your back seat to accompany you.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear that? Yeah. So like if you pass through a bridge, especially like you were a woman, and you were driving by yourself, that he'd be there to not to haunt you or anything, just to accompany you and like keep you company as in your journey or whatever.
To make sure
I remember that one.
To make sure you can use a carpool lane, Of course. That's
very
nice.
For legal purposes.
You do a blessing, like you would have to do a prayer, right? Somehow to get him off.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember that. Now I'm getting scared.
My little peach fuzz just went up.
I remember when
being Mexican is hard.
It's hashtag Hispanic probs.
Hispanic probs.
Right.
That's trending right now.
Yeah.
So.
Another one that I heard, this one also isn't like a scary one. It's more like a funny one. I think El Sombreron.
I've never heard of that.
No. Okay. So that one originates from Guatemala, and it's this man who had a big sombrero, big enough where you couldn't see his face, and so he'd walk outside your homes, especially of like young ladies, and with a silver guitar, and so and he tried to
terrified,
and he'd serenade them, and to get them to fall in love with him. And so, and if they did, like they heard the sound of his beautiful playing or whatever, they'd fall in love with him. And so she'd just be so entranced by him that she wouldn't eat, she wouldn't sleep or drink water, she wouldn't do anything. So I mean, she'd die or whatever. But this man was just, it's a weird lore because he was apparently so also in love with like long hair. And so when he'd fall in love or when he'd find the woman, he'd braid her hair. Oh, wow. And so when he couldn't find a woman, he'd find horses.
What?
He'd find horses and he'd braid their manes and their tails and stuff. And it's just a weird, a weird one.
That's a good warning, you know. So if you ever find a man who
with a big sombrero
and braids your hair
and a guitar
and likes horses
horses, yeah. So stay away from
that guy.
Yeah. So what other one? Another one that I thought was funny.
I've never heard of that one. What other one do you got?
I don't know. Oh, well, El Cadejo, that one is a big, black, vicious dog who, if you were ever walking alone at night in parks and stuff like that, and they knew that you were evil or you had, like, badness in you, that they'd rip you to shreds and murder you and stuff. And that kind of reminds me also of the show Supernatural, where they have their version, which is the Hellhounds.
Oh, okay.
If you did something bad or you sold your soul or whatever, like the Hellhounds would come in and eat you and stuff. So that's also another one. And in parallel to that one is the same thing, but a white one. So like if you were walking and a cadejo came to you, but they saw that you had good, a white dog was supposed to come and like ward off the black dog.
Oh,
that's if you were good. Yeah.
It's like a battle.
A battle, yeah.
Good and evil or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about that one.
Do y'all know any other ones?
I have, well, no, just some experiences. How about any experiences that you guys have had in your life?
Of actual, like, hauntings?
I mean, anything weird that you thought was weird. I mean, we hear noises, we're like, oh, crap. What was that?
And that's because I'm a complete scaredy cat, but... No, I mean, aside from
how about in your house, since you're alone most of the time, and
with my sisters.
My sisters. So the place where we live, right, where my parents live, it used to belong to this African American lady who passed away there, right? Okay. And so all her things were there when we first moved in, and my parents got rid of them. And so 2 rooms, the room where my parents sleep. The one that my parents slept for a long time used to have like pictures of the lady, right? And then the last room, which my sisters and I shared, also had things. So we always, it's horrible when you see that picture because then you start imagining it. Yeah. But knowing that she passed away there also freaked us out. And so we got rid of everything except for this rocking chair. Okay. This my parents just thought it was such a
seems like the first thing I would get rid of.
Yeah. Got to go.
Yeah.
So
haven't you seen any
horror
movies?
They liked it because it was a lazy boy, and they were like, okay, well,
it's like
es de marca.
Yeah, es de marca. And so they kept it. And so my little brother, my second brother at the time, was like maybe, I want to say he was like 6 or 7, right? And he must have been around that age. He was young. And he would wake up in the middle of the night and freak out because the rocking chair was moving by itself. Oh, wow. And so I'm one of those people that I go to the restroom like at night. And I remember one time seeing it.
Our viewers don't know you yet.
Pablo knows. And and I would see it rocking. You could hear the squeaky things and we would hate it. And also... I remember that we would all be outside because my parents had this thing where if we went outside, everyone had to be outside. No one could be inside because you were loner, right? So we would all be outside because my parents were planning, and you could hear people running down the hall inside, and like you just hear, and we would freak out. And I mean, they still live there, right? And eventually things stopped, but I do remember like hating that because you could hear like it was like running really, really loud, and it was just super scary. Years later, when my last little brother was born, he didn't know the story of it, right? But he slept in the middle room where my little brother slept, where I'm assuming it was the original room where they like lived. And he would start drawing weird things. Like there was a moment, there was a period of his youthfulness, I guess, where his pictures were just weird. Like I remember this one picture that my dad showed me. It was like one of those things that you see in movies. It was like a really long, creepy black man that he would draw for a while. And eventually it stopped, but we would all get chills. And I remember being in Washington, D.C. when my dad sent me a picture. Look what your brother drew. And I was like, my baby, like, what's happening to
I need to go leave right now.
He couldn't sleep. And he
burn down the house.
He would stop in the middle of the night and just point at the closet. And the closet didn't work. So it was one of those, like, it would stay open.
All the time.
He would just, like, be there, like, mommy, and just point.
Which one's this one? The little one?
The baby.
The baby one?
He's 6 now.
Shout
he
out.
was like 3
Little
to
brother.
Michael. Yeah, he was really young. So I was just so
Sweet
scared
dreams
for him.
tonight.
Yeah, it was super scary.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've had like maybe like 1 or 2 things happen. I think a long time ago, the ghost stories that my grandma used to tell me about the Lechuzas and the witches that had powers back in the day that they don't nowadays. And I always thought that was so weird. It's like, what happened that changed that? But another one that I had a personal experience, I think I was around maybe 10 years old, and I was visiting some cousins up by Houston in a town called Lake Jackson. And I was looking down the hallway, and I remember I was sitting on the couch. They had a long, dark hallway that even my cousins were terrified of that hallway. And they lived there, so they were so scared of it. And I don't know if that's what got into my head, but I could have sworn, I out of the corner of my eye, I looked. And as I looked this way, down the hallway, I saw like a cloaked figure.
Oh my God.
Just go through the wall. And then it freaked me out. I'm like, holy crap. Did anybody see that? I was telling everybody, and they're like, no, nobody saw anything. And I swear I saw something. And I'm not, a real ghost believer, but I know what I saw at 10, unless my dumb, youthful mind saw something.
Why are you such a cynic? You saw a ghost.
I saw something, but it was something unexplained. And that was just one of the only times I saw something on a different. Yeah, that was scary. Anything like that for you?
No, I've never experienced anything like that.
Do you welcome it? Are you with your Ouija board out there at home?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Hey,
No.
sisters, come on over.
It's Friday night.
Friday night with your cats.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I haven't experienced seeing anything like that, but I do have 3 cats. Cat lady, sorry guys. And so I do have a lot of those experiences where I'm alone in my room or whatever, and so I'm doing whatever, and then I'll just see my cat just get up suddenly and just stare straight into nothing, and that freaks me out because they'll just be staring and they'll start hissing at nothing, and nothing's there, and when you're alone, like, it freaks you out even more. And because I'm a scaredy cat, like, I just, oh man,
Here
like,
in Roma.
here, like in my house here in Edinburgh, and I get so scared. I just like take out my rosary. I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, please don't.
Do you pray in Spanish or in English?
Both. I don't know. I get it both. I guess intertwined as we're like Spanglish.
I remember like when I was really, really scared, because I love scary movies, right? But it's one of those things where I love to watch them and then I can't sleep. And so in order for me to go to sleep after watching something super scary, I remember I would pray. But the only way I felt like I was listened or I was heard is when I prayed in Spanish, and I was like,
it only counts.
It only counts if it's Spanish.
that, and that's when I felt like, okay, I can sleep now.
You're okay, yeah.
So weird. I just realized that.
With that, being afraid, I mean, like I live in a 2-story home, and it's still back there in the back of your mind. I turn off all the lights, I let the dog in, feed the cat, and I'm going upstairs, and I'm like, I know there's nothing behind me. But I feel something.
Turn also.
And you don't turn.
Yeah.
So you go up, and it's just that upbringing. But then like I kind of like challenge it. I'm like, you take that turn, but still very slowly, I
won't. If I need to get to one spot and then and I have to turn the light off, I'm running like I am Usain Bolt. Like I am such a scaredy cat.
Yeah, 33-year-old man right here. You got a 23-year-old woman
I'm the same
and a 23-year-old.
I will. Because I go to the restroom, right? Well, when I watch something really scary, like I'll hold it. I will hold it because I don't want to open my eyes and see something there.
Yeah.
And that triggered me because when we first moved into our apartment, Pablo used to live with his little sister. Shout out to Didi, right? And she would say that something was following him because at their old apartment, they would hear things. And there was this one time when I remember she was like scared to death because she heard something fall, or she heard, I don't remember what it was, but I remember she was super scared. And then she told me that it was something that was following Pablo. And so I was like, probably not true. Like, but when we moved into our new apartment, I don't know if it was because it was like a new place, but I couldn't be alone. I didn't like being alone, and I don't know, but we moved into a handicapped apartment, and they didn't let us know, so it was really fishy. We moved in, we loved it, and then we found out later there was a handicap, and I don't know if something happened there before, but when we first moved in, I couldn't be alone. I had to close the closets, and I hate closets. I hate open closets, and I hated being alone, and I remember I would freak out Pablo because in the middle of the night I would wake up and I'd be like, "There's something there." It stopped. I put up a cross and it stopped.
Oh, okay.
But he thought, like, he would make fun of me. But I remember being so scared. Like, you know that sensation where you just...
You get the nuns.
You get the nuns. I would get the nuns. And I don't know. Like, thankfully it stopped. But I remember at that apartment, I would tell you guys, like, I want to go get it blessed. And maybe it doesn't work or it does. But, like, to me, like, I was like, it'll give me a peace of mind. But I put up that cross in our room, and thankfully, like, things have gotten better.
You see, and I get, like, night terrors where I just wake up terrified or, like, you know, drenched in sweat, just super terrified. I don't remember what the dreams are, but I know that my siblings are always telling me that they get so scared to wake me up because I'll wake up just panicked and super, super terrified. So, like, they hate waking me up. Like, because they...
And they're not supposed to.
They tell you you're supposed to, like, let it pass or whatever.
Let it ride, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's so scary. It just, I don't know. I hate it. Like.
And you've woken up with scratches before, right?
Jim, why?
I didn't know this. I want to know now.
Yes, you have, but for other reasons.
It was my cats. I hope. It's just this scar.
That doesn't align with the cat paw.
The Lechuzas outside your window and like your cats just hissing at the air.
Well, I know
that.
Melinda, you could be haunted.
Okay, thanks guys. Now I'm gonna be super terrified.
Oh my god, have you guys heard about that? That when people are haunted, they carry it on their backs. I don't know. I've seen that in several movies.
There's like a movie, yeah.
Yeah, where you just feel. When people are hunched, that it's because something like is following.
You told me, you're like, why do you look taller? And then I started getting
break. You're like, oh, you're right. Oh no, he's back. Yeah.
Put it there. Maybe you are, Melinda.
That's not very nice.
No, I'm gonna imagine that it's like from Ghostbusters 2016.
It's a nice one.
Nice monster.
It's a nice monster. Yeah. So have you ever, going with that, any local areas here that you guys have been to
like
that or heard
places?
about? Yeah.
Well, I know that in Roma, we have our haunted, that it's known to us there as this haunted hospital that's been abandoned and it's old and dilapidated for decades, like, you know, long time. And when you are a child in Rome, they take you on tours of the haunted.
What? Is that what you do in your field trips? Like, ooh, they teach it as part of the curriculum as well? What?
Yeah, it's our culture. It's our Hispanic culture. No, and so I remember going there. I think I was in 3rd grade when we went there, and of course, you know, everything is scary and super creepy and stuff, but that's the only one in Roma that I remember. And then as an adult, in Bronx TV, we covered this for Halloween. We covered this haunted house in, was it Progreso, I think? And yeah, so that one we went in that one's supposed to be real, like for reals haunted or something. And so when we went, we covered it during the daylight and it was not scary. We went to like at night when it was actually haunted, and then we went in the daylight to cover the B-roll and stuff, and that just destroyed, I guess, my like haunted houses because it wasn't scary, but that one's supposed to be haunted.
Were you freaked out? Or was it because you were with people that were kind of not taking it seriously?
We weren't taking it seriously. Well, the thing is, we went, and the woman who was supposed to meet us there, like, left us her key. Like, she told us, she's like, oh, I'm running 15 minutes late, but one of the windows on the side's open, so just open it and safe. Go in. We're like, perfect. Seems legit. Yeah. Let's do it. And so we go in with our equipment, and we're opening the doors. And so while we were there alone, and there's no AC, it was super dark. There's no electricity in there. We were kind of scared. But we're laughing the entire time, and I think that also kind of
breaks the ice.
Ruins it, yeah. Like the way the Exorcist movie did for me, because we're laughing while we're watching it. So, but yeah, so those were the only haunted places I know about.
I mean, I know about the San Juan Hotel, and I would love to go there. Like, we should have our podcast there. It'd be so scary and so cool. But I've also growing up, we lived in Alton for a while, and I know that that's where there was a school bus that got into an accident with a Coca-Cola truck. And
is that the handprint one?
And
that's
San Antonio. And a bunch of a lot of school kids that were in the school bus passed away, unfortunately.
In the 90s or
I don't know when it was, but there's crosses.
In the last 10,
if you drive
20
by
years,
the park, you'll see crosses. Yeah. And so that was like our childhood park. My dad would always take us there every Sunday, and we would stay there pretty late. So I remember we didn't like to stay there at night because just the idea of them, passing away in that like river or because it's like water,
a canal or some body of water.
It was just really scary. Like I wouldn't imagine like staying there at night because you just get the nuns. Like, it's weird. And as far as that one in the valley, I do remember the PSJ North auditorium was haunted. Like kids wouldn't like to stay there past like darkness, and I know that they would to practice, but I remember hearing stories about that, like that you wouldn't stay there, because there was a student, right?
Those are creepy areas to begin with. Those auditoriums when you're out by yourself and you're the last one shutting off. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. My previous job, we had a studio area, and we'd walk in and we'd all like rush out. The last one had to like shut off run out and turn on the alarm. And this is like 5 years ago, right? So we'd go in there, and you'd go in there on a weekend because you're the only one working, and it was like so quiet, so still. Nothing's there, but still the stillness and the quietness. It's your imagination, or is it your imagination, right? Who knows? That's a question. There anything else that you want to, any other ones that we missed?
Let's talk about not going away from the lore and talking about Hispanic superstitions.
Okay.
Because there are a lot. And as I was writing them down, I was thinking about them. I'm like, man, like, we're taught all these. Yeah, we're taught all these as kids. And, like, it's stuff that I still do. Not that I'm scared. It's just, like, habit. Not necessarily that you believe it. It's just out of habit that you don't do them.
Okay.
And, I know one of them is the upside down brooms. I don't know if your grandma ever taught you that one, that you put an upside down broom, with the feather thingies facing up, and that's supposed to keep unwanted spirits or ghosts or people outside your room.
So you had a broom with feathers on it?
No, I don't know what they're called. What I heard. What are they called? The broom, the picos. The picos, yeah, the hay, whatever it is. Yeah, that one's
bristles. Bristles, yeah.
That sounds.
I don't remember that one, but I do remember.
That's a fancy broom.
Only the best.
The best. Yeah. Only the best. I don't remember that one, but I do remember don't sweep like after 8.
The witches. Yeah. Well, I was taught don't sweep in the witch's hour. I don't know who's sweeping at 3 a.m, though.
That's weird.
Or what'd you say, after 8 for you guys?
Yeah. Like, don't sweep at night.
Maybe that's the one.
You'll
like
sweep away your luck.
Mom.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like,
that sounds like a lazy mom.
And don't. No, then I don't know. Like, I remember.
I know.
Don't get any ideas, Kelly. Also. Don't get any ideas.
Yeah, you'll sweep your money away. But also, don't sweep your parents' feet, or don't sweep around people's feet,
because they'll be single forever.
Yeah, I remember that one. So I would.
Who did that?
Who did that?
Who swiped at my feet?
I hate being in restaurants and they're cleaning and they sweep your feet. Like, that pisses me off.
Really?
Do you not know the superstition?
No, I've never heard of that.
Did you sweep me? I'm like.
Did you sweep me?
You're already.
Like, I'm married, but
You're
back
married.
then I'm like,
No,
really?
but that's also one. If you sweep at just someone's feet, if it's a single person, they're gonna be single forever. And if you sweep at the feet of someone who is married, that they'll have a doomed marriage. So one with bad luck and stuff.
Well, I didn't know that part, but now I'm scared. Thanks, restaurant people.
Yeah, I know, just don't sweep at all.
Don't sweep in between people.
Well, I guess sticking to the restaurant one, the passing of the salt. So I know we've talked about it, and you had never heard of it before, but
I've heard of it, but I never. It wasn't like taught to me in the curriculum like you guys. But for me, I'd heard about it. You hear it every time, like, oh, don't pass the salt. You always. What do you have to do? What's the whole?
Well, the thing of that is that you're not supposed to pass the salt because you will get into an argument with that person.
Okay.
So you're just, if they want the salt, you put it right in front of them, and then they grab it.
That seems really rude. Give me the salt, Melinda, my hand.
Why are you getting in a fight?
I know,
which is the purpose, you
there
see?
You go. There you go.
I don't know about that one. At my house, we didn't follow that one like per se, but we did follow the if you spill salt, throw it over your shoulder.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
I've heard that one.
Both sides or just to your right side?
Any side. Like I know it's one side, but I'd be like, I mean, it counts for something, right?
Yeah, I remember we'd put both.
7 years of bad luck if you didn't do it right.
Well, that was a mirror, no?
Yeah,
if you broke a mirror and you get 7 years of bad luck.
I thought it was for both. I mean, I know the mirror one, but I know that, like, you don't spill salt for bad luck. So I don't know how many years.
So these weren't really like Hispanic ones, but those were more general ones, right? Like I've heard them in, I think, a lot of cultures as far as the salt and the mirrors. What specifically? Any other one?
Another, the keeping a glass of water near your bedside.
Okay.
And that's supposed to absorb the bad spirits away. I remember my grandma told me that one, and not a regular glass, but like I'll just keep a bottle of water, because if you woke up at night and you were thirsty and you didn't go drink water, like a demon would eat your soul or something.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I did not know that one.
So I would even now, like,
it sounds like a trick to make you drink water, I think, Melinda.
maybe it was targeted at me, right? Because I don't drink water.
She does not drink water.
So I always have at least one bottle of water near my bedside, so the spirits are absorbed, but a lot of good that's doing. So.
What about the huevo?
Yeah, I was thinking about that right now. About which huevo is egg. So what
which huevo is egg?
Who honestly here has either done the huevo? Who has done the huevo?
I'm guilty.
Okay.
Wait, what?
The huevo? Like, it wasn't, like I said, it's not my family that did this. It was more like in high school, but I know my mom knows about the huevo. But my friend and I, we were in high school our senior year, and there was this girl that we didn't like, right? And one day...
As you do.
We love everyone. Shout out to Audie. But not like our boss, but my best friend Audie.
Okay.
Yeah, there was this girl. We thought, that morning, we both felt so sick, like just dizzy and gross, and we wanted to throw up. And so we're like, it's gotta be, it's gotta be ojo, or it's gotta be that. We have to go do the huevo. So, being good girls that we were, our senior year, last 3 weeks.
But you're doing evil,
No, we snuck out of school in a trunk, and the security guards were like, what? Hi. So we just went across the street, because she lived across the street from Raiders. And we went to her house. She did the huevo on me, and sure enough, like, she cracks it and it's all smoky. Like, it was gross. Like,
really?
She did the huevo, the cruz. Because you don't just do the huevo. You don't just rub me with an egg. Like, you do the cruz. And so she did it on me.
Sign of the cross all over your body.
And I did it on her. And then we put it on. We put water in glasses and we cracked the eggs there. And they were smoky with bubbles.
So the theory is,
and then we felt better.
It's supposed to absorb
the evil,
the hate, or the curse, or whatever it is that was. So you said that you thought you got it because of ojo. What is ojo?
Because of hate. Yeah, someone that hates.
So ojo literally
mal de ojo is, in English, is the stink eye, I guess. And so it happens is that if you see something or a person that you like, but don't touch, you genuinely touch, that it's either going to break or that person is going to get sick. And I know that my grandpa, who passed away already, he had to touch us all, right? If we're going to leave, he had to touch us and just grab our faces, just, just touch us, because he did give ojo. And I remember this one time, my tia and them were there at my grandparents' house, and he didn't touch my cousin before they left, and he got so sick. So he had fever. He
didn't give them he got it himself.
My cousin, right? And
cousin.
So my cousin was a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a baby, and he got ojo. So he had a fever. It was horrible. And I remember, I think my parents telling me that they actually got him and drove him to my grandparents' house so my grandpa could touch my cousin, and overnight the fever went away and stuff. But
fever.
Yeah, of my entire life, we never left my grandpa's house without him touching us, because
he's one of those.
And speaking of that, with ojo, you see that a lot and people complain about it all the time. People with new babies, and they're walking, in a store, and they complain about, they're always touching my baby because of ojo, and that's the reason. So people don't want to give the baby like bad juju, right? They don't want to curse the baby or make the baby sick, so they feel that they need to touch the baby, like they'll touch the head of the baby or the feet or whatever. But of course, parents are like, stop touching my baby, you weirdo.
Germs.
Yeah, germs, number one thing. So that's the origin of that.
And growing up, I always thought it was for babies, because my brothers and my sisters, like my mom always touch him like you're gonna give him ojo. But nowadays, it's like you have a cute purse and it's like touch it or it's gonna break, or like you like my jacket and I compliment it, but I don't touch it. Or like tomorrow it'll string, you know. Yeah. So it's kind of become like a universal thing.
It's evolved from people to objects, which I guess, now in our generation, that's, what's most important to us.
I guess.
The objects, but yeah.
Well, something funny you saw today, I don't think if it's a Mexican thing or Hispanic thing, you saw a black butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
The black moth.
Oh, God, that's a scary one.
That means death is coming. Who saw it?
I didn't. I saw
him.
I saw a shadow.
Like this.
I saw a shadow, and then I freaked out because I saw a shadow here, and I looked up and I couldn't see it. You see the shadow off of the like this. We have this kind of matte thing, so you can't see through it, but you saw the shadow of the butterfly, and she said butterfly, and a black butterfly. Is it black? And she looked at it, and sure enough, it was black. So she saw it with her eyes.
But it followed you.
You're giving it to her.
Yeah, like the ring or the grudge or whatever.
Goodness.
And then what'd you do right after? You knocked on wood. You're looking for
signed the cross.
And
I did do sign the cross.
It's not too late.
But I knocked on wood.
Yeah, so that's one thing. And I was like,
gosh. Wait, where was this?
It was right here as we came in.
Jim was coming in, and like the butterfly was following him, and then it wouldn't leave. Like it was in the door, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Wait, was it a butterfly or a moth?
I think it was a butterfly.
It was a big. Could have been a moth.
So you heard the moth.
Yeah, I was taught the black moth. That if a black moth is it goes to your house and it's just resting by the doorway, death of the family is coming. And I remember that happened like a week before my grandma died. Like we had a black moth, and none of us said anything. Like we'd see it, and we're like, okay,
scary.
Yeah, man,
that's insane.
We recently had a death in the family, but it was like my mom's uncle. I don't know. Like I know that the butterfly always gives me the creeps. Like when they're
butterflies.
When they're white, they're angels. Like if a white butterfly comes into your pathway or flies into you, it's supposed to be like an angel.
So if you run it over, you hit it with the car.
It's an angel. It's an angel.
Though. Good.
That's what I heard. Like if you're walking and a butterfly is around you and it's white, it's like an angel that came down from heaven to be with you. It could have been like an old family member. The black butterflies forebodes death and like tragedy. Yeah, and so like whenever I see a black butterfly, it freaks me out. And frogs. Yeah.
No, frogs. And another one of deaths to the family is if you dream of your teeth of teeth falling out, that's supposed to mean also that death is coming.
Death is coming.
Yeah.
I've never dreamt that or.
I've never heard of sickness, death or sickness. Death or sickness. I've dreamt of I dreamt like the world was burning and my teeth were falling out.
What kind of weird dreams do you have?
And they say,
dude,
that's
I have dreams where I'm flying and
I
have superpowers.
You have nice dreams. All my dreams are like horrible.
Night terrors and apocalyptic. That's
must
crazy.
Be nice, Jim, to have nice dreams and not nightmares.
You do. I mean, this is maybe another subject completely. Dreams is another one.
Yeah. Well, they say if you have nightmares, you're supposed to tell somebody your nightmares. If not, they will come true. Like bad things will happen or bad luck or whatever. But and it's the opposite, that if you have a good dream that you're not supposed to, you keep it to yourself so it comes true.
I've heard that if you remember your dream, it's not going to come true. But if you don't, but you had a dream, like
that is awful because I have night terrors and I don't like that. No, but I know every time I have a nightmare, I'll call my mom and tell her, and she's like, okay, well, you have to pray. So that's scary. Yeah. Okay, going away from that, let's go to another one. I don't know if this one's a Hispanic one, but like if you see like an animal doing the restroom, then you're gonna get a grano on your eye.
Oh, a perilla.
A perilla, yeah.
It sounds so gross, but yeah, I've heard of that one.
Is that a Hispanic thing or is that
my mom does it. Like I remember she would always freak me out. Away? And to this day, I cannot look at an animal pee. It's pee or poop.
Well, I wouldn't
just doing the
restroom. I don't want to. Why would I do that?
Sometimes they just get in your way and do it.
You just
well, that's why, because you'll get a grano.
And
it's just turn it because it's gross. You don't want to see that.
But if you see, of course you're not gonna be
and that you're supposed to touch, go like this, like if you see it, and that's supposed to make
that,
it not.
But I'm like,
do what? What are you supposed to do?
Go like this, and that shit.
Oh, you know what though? But you're getting like your germs into your eyes, and that's what causes the bacteria to. Anyway.
My hands are always clean.
Are they really?
Zoom in.
Zoom in. Yeah. Okay. Another one is. Oh, have you heard about like the pregnant woman? Like if there's an eclipse, She's
she has to wear red
or wear a safety pin. Like she's supposed to have a safety pin.
Yeah, that's true. I have heard that.
Next to the baby, like to the panza. If not, like the baby can have
miscarriage.
No. Like it'll be like cleft palate or something.
Oh yeah, I have heard that.
So you need to have a safety pin if you're gonna go out.
This is very specific. Yeah,
it's very right. It's a very specific one. I don't know. I don't have babies, so I don't know if that's.
Have you done the like? I guess more of a curing thing, like the egg, the whole red thread.
What is that?
So there was a thing, I guess, when we were kids, and my grandma would do it. My other grandma would do it. Very Catholic family. They would take red thread, and I think you'd take a little bit of spit and roll it up in a ball, and you'd put it on the head of the baby, it's one of those curing things.
Whoa!
And it was more of a
why would you put it
prayer.
on the baby?
Just if they were sick, they had a fever, that kind of thing. So you do it alongside with the egg, I believe. Maybe it was a part of the egg ritual, but you would take the little red thread, and just put it on the forehead of the baby or person being sick, So, and that was the whole thing. I don't know exactly the details of that, but that was just one. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
I've never heard of that before.
That's something that my grandma would do, which was interesting.
Wow, I didn't know that one.
How about
purses?
Purses? What?
We've talked about this before. This is like it has nothing to do with babies.
Oh yeah,
but
you freaked out when I almost put your purse on the floor.
Yeah, you're not supposed to because you're gonna take away my money.
I don't do that one. But
no,
like
but you said your mom had told you about it, right?
Ariana, I think.
Ariana, okay.
Yeah, because like I mean I had heard don't do it, but to me it's like, well, I don't have anywhere else to put it.
Put it on your lap, girl.
And I'm eating and I have my purse in the middle, and it's just so inconvenient. So I mean it's one of those things where I choose not to follow it, but I don't know it. Like I don't. Like I've heard of it, but
you didn't. It wasn't ingrained in you.
It wasn't ingrained.
As you were growing
I
up.
have these that are ingrained, that they're just part of me now. Where I'm like, I was taught not to put my purse on the floor because if not, it means that I'm gonna lose money or I'm gonna be not wealthy when I'm older or something like that. So that was engraved in me. And like another one was also like the black cat passing you while you're driving. So I had always seen my mom, if a black cat passed when she was driving, that she'd put a sign of the cross on this side of her and this side of her. So that happens to me. And that's because I have a black cat in my house.
Sure.
Like I own a black cat, but if a black cat crosses me while I'm driving, I put a cross here and a cross there.
And that one specifically while you're driving, you can't be walking.
That one's that one is while you're, and not that I was taught that, it's just that I would see my mom do it. So, and not that she's superstitious, it's just that something
is she
that her mom
a little stitious?
She's a little she's not superstitious, just a little stitious. Yeah, where not necessarily that we believe that cats are black cats are bad luck, because like I said, I have one. It's just a matter of I saw it and so I do it.
Yes.
So I sign across on both sides.
Yeah. I remember I didn't do, and I still don't do the ladder. Like, don't walk under ladders. That one freaks me out.
Seems like a safety thing, but...
But I don't know. Like, I avoid it, like, and then it came out in the movie The Ring. Did you see it? In that video.
That was in the video.
Part of it. Yeah, it freaks me out. And another one, man, I forgot. I was looking at you, and I forgot.
The grapes. Did y'all do the grapes
No.
on New Year's Eve?
Yes.
No.
So my grandma would
7 grapes. 12 grapes.
So right before New Year's Day, so New Year's Eve, you right before the clock turns, to midnight, that you eat 12 grapes, and it's supposed to bring you 12 months of happiness. So
mine is you eat the 12 grapes, and every grape is a wish. So you make 12 wishes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that one also, but with pennies. So my grandma would go around, she'd give us 12 grapes and 12 pennies. Yeah. And so with every penny that you have, so you'd go out to the house, outside the porch or whatever, and every penny was a wish. So you throw it up on the roof. So you'd wish, throw it on the roof, wish, throw it on the roof.
I didn't know that one.
So we would get 12 months of happiness and 12 wishes.
And 12 wishes.
She wanted to make sure we're okay.
You're okay. That's a nice grandma.
My mom's hilarious. She gets the suitcases and she walks around the house with the suitcases.
Yeah, that one's supposed to mean that you'll travel, right? Yeah.
And then she would always be like, wear red chones. And we'd be like, why? For love. And I mean, I guess it worked, right? Because that red chones, yellow bra.
I was going to say that. Yeah, so you wear red underwear if you want love that year, and you wear yellow if you want a good fortune, so money and stuff.
And that's on what, New Year's?
New Year's Eve.
That's so funny.
Yeah, because my one side of my, we're a huge family, as I've told you guys. So one family of mine, they all come in yellow. So like we'll see a flood in yellow on New Year's Eve, and we're like, oh,
that's the
they're
reason.
here.
They're here.
They're here.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Another thing my mom does in New Year's, well, she recently started doing it like the past 3 years. She gets like a bunch of our old clothes and she turns them into like a man and she stuffs them in and then she burns them. She says it's
man?
Like
freak me out right now.
I have never heard of that.
Like she gets jeans,
You
right?
said it so casually. Yeah. She just gets her old clothes, puts it into a thing, and burns a man. Is there a man
like
inside of there?
Like a scarecrow. So like jeans and then a shirt and then she sews them and then she fills it up with a bunch of our clothes, like all of us. She burns it and it's supposed to be like out with the old, in with the new. And so
but what's new?
The New Year, because we would, and that's like our campfire during New Year's. Like she, as
man burning,
got
it.
As the clothes burn, we're like roasting marshmallows.
And you're like, oh yay! Like, oh,
it's like an effigy. I don't know, of our old clothes. I don't know where she saw it. Probably
so
like
funny.
Sábado Gigante or something. This old Saturday show.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I was
before.
like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, it's de buena suerte. It's good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
But I love that shirt. Mom.
I know.
Was it at least like old clothes?
Old clothes,
Okay.
yeah. Like things that she was probably going to throw away soon.
Anyways,
Or they didn't fit. Yeah, but like something from everyone. Even Pablo. He doesn't know.
Pablo?
He doesn't know.
Babe, have you seen my favorite red shirt?
Nope.
No.
I think you threw it out. And you know what? What?
That reminds me of the monitos, the brujeria. Like, have you ever heard of that? When people like
Voodoo.
Yeah, voodoo.
Yeah, the voodoo dolls. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have heard of
Super
those.
scary.
Well, do you remember those little ones that they sell like in Mexico? The little thingies. Is there any relevance to any sort
You're
of?
not saying anything. What are little thingies,
little
Jim?
thingies. Sorry, my
Got
brain.
it.
I thought
Y'all know what he's talking about, right?
Telepathy. Yes. No, they're little dolls made out of wood. I think with thread wrapped around them. That
Like
make
the ones from the
clothes.
Blair Witch?
Sure, I don't know, but
It's made with material, no?
But this one's just like little wooden family dolls, I guess. Does that have any?
Like the Russian. I don't know what you're. I
not at
can't
all.
picture what you're saying.
They're like made out
Legos?
of sticks. No, made out of sticks. Made out of wood, wrapped with. They're more like children's toys, I think. I don't know if there's any significance.
Sounds like brujeria.
That's
That
what I'm
sounds like
thinking.
witchcraft,
That's what
yeah.
I'm thinking. So, anyway, I didn't know if that was something
No,
that
I've
you guys
never
were
heard.
familiar with. Maybe that was back in the day.
Westico thing.
Westico thing.
Yeah.
No, it was a Mexico thing.
Okay.
I remember going and getting those little things. So, yeah, but I think anything else you want to add to finalize this episode? I think since it's October, we're going to be doing something creepy every week.
Not
Something
creepy,
to do.
I
Not
think
creepy.
like spooky. So we'll have spooky themed episodes for this month of Halloween.
Yeah, so we love Halloween.
This
We
month
love
of Halloween.
The month of Halloween.
Thanks for
That's
correcting
what it is.
this month. Okay,
The
yeah.
pumpkin. The pumpkin is here, and yeah, we're excited. So we're gonna go deeper into this. Final thoughts? Anything else?
Nope. I
Great.
just love Halloween and woohoo, go October.
Woo. So everybody start gathering your old clothes and make that man and burn them on New Year's. So
And wear red chones because it works.
red chones and a yellow,
And yellow clothing.
I guess. So again, my name's Jim,
Claudia.
Melinda.
and this has been the Kind of Sort of Maybe Show. And follow us on Twitter and like this video on YouTube. And thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
Elmo's World.
Oh. Okay.
Elmo loves his goldfish. Meow, 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 meow.
What Jim should do, because you don't. Are you Hispanic?
Really? Yes, I am.
I don't know.
Jim.
There's a lot of
It's
Westico.
questionable.
Yeah.
That's a
El
good
cadejo.
What? That's a
I
bad
don't know
word.
what
Where
that
it come
is.
from?
Cadejo.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Hey, this does nothing. It just messes everything up.
So violent.
Stop it.
1, 2.
Wow, I haven't heard that since high school.
There you go.
With sound effects.
That's
Why?
that's
Must
a
you
real one.
ruin everything?
That's-
Smile, Jim. You don't want to take off your sweater?
You're so.
He's from Rio.
He's
Shout
from,
out
He is
Fred.
from Rio. Hashtag Rattlers suck. Sorry.
Ooh, I'm putting that in there.
Sorry, not sorry.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Kind of Sort of Maybe Show. My name is Jim Zavala. With me we have.
Claudia.
And Melinda.
Yeah, and today we're going to talk about something really cool, I think. I always say that, but this time maybe we're not so prepared, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not supposed to say that.
Way to give confidence
secret.
to our audience, our
You know,
3 viewers.
But I have faith in our people here.
Okay.
Yeah. So my name's Jim.
Claudia.
Did what?
Did
we
we
were
do
getting
that?
Yes.
All right, let's go right into it. Okay, so again, we have a new Twitter account. You can find us at the Kinda Sorta Maybe Show, but that's not the title.
Don't listen.
Don't listen to me.
He gave us the wrong. You gave you guys the wrong one last one.
did.
It's not KOM show. It's KSM show.
So we can just start from the beginning. Let's just start that all over again.
Let's start it again. The lost
That
intro.
was awful.
That was horrible.
Let's do it again.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Okay. All right, everybody look up there. Just gonna clap.
Why did you introduce yourself again?
I don't remember. I'm tired.
I don't know, but when I'm wearing sweaters, Jim, I think you should take off your sweater.
Jim, it's really hot. Why are you wearing a sweater?
Why are you judging me? Okay.
Something touched me.
It was.
It's La Llorona.
It's el cable.
Intocable?
Intocable.
That's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
7 days.
I don't know why I'm panting. I just walked from here to there.
Oh my god.
I'm out of breath.
Really have to
Melinda,
work
maybe it
on-
was that Starbucks
What happened? It stopped recording.
brownie you had.
That's rude.
2.
Ooh, that sounded good.
You know, it really doesn't matter if we all clap at the same time. It's just a tradition.
Well, why
right?
did you yell at me last time?
Did you hear that?
Yes.